TSF Entertainment.
Yo, what up, though?
What up, though?
Welcome back to TSF Entertainment. We at the end, y'all. We coming to bring you BMF episode 10 prime time review and recap. Man, we got some things to talk about. I'm gonna let Jack go ahead and kick that joint off of what he thought of the episode.
On a scale of 1 to 10, for this being a finale, I'm not even gonna lie. Y'all gonna criticize me. I'm gonna say this is probably a 4.
Shoot, you better than me for a finale.
And I'm gonna say this is probably a 4. Earlier I gave it a 3, but I'm gonna say this is probably a 4. And this is me grading on the curve. To me, this just wasn't good at all. Like, it was just so many. Everything just seemed like it was rushed.
Yep.
We could have predicted the whole episode if you've been following the show. I didn't like it at all. I didn't like the ending. I think my favorite part of the conversation probably with Deion Sanders. Other than that,
That's crazy. Especially shout out to Shiloh, man. It's crazy because he sounded just like his pops too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, nah, man. This joint, like I said, I know I'm gonna get flack too. I can already see it in the comments. Maybe a 3.5 being
I'm not
nice.
mad at that.
I actually
mad
had
at
it
that.
lower than that. I had it at a 2,
Oof.
only because it's a finale.
Yeah.
Like this, man.
Some of this stuff we could have spread it out between episode 6, 7, and 8.
Yep, it's so much, but we gonna elaborate more why we feel the way we do as far as it being a finale. So we gonna go ahead and jump into it. Episode 10 synopsis reads: Meech and Terry return to Atlanta. The brothers work together to retrieve everything they have worked hard for and plan to expand to St. Louis and other cities with Miami as a hub. Meech and Terry are in for one of their greatest adventures. Of course, the episode kicks off with a flashback as we've been getting most of this season. We see a young Meech and a young T. Them getting into the game. We see T here holding a bag of you know what. And they talk about, Meech says, at this point he's dropping out of school. He's about to get into the game because he's tired of them struggling for a meal, wearing the same clothes over and over, getting joked at school, wondering, if they're gonna have light, stealing electricity from all these different people and whatnot. So we know eventually, that's their main reason as to why they got into the game. And the episode kicks right off with none other than Remy Ransom going up to the impound lot to get the vans. So I knew automatically from the last episode, I know a lot of people thought it was Markeisha, but I knew off Jump Street it was none other than Remy because of his homie Sharp, I believe his name was. And what was that episode? Was it episode 9, right? Where he came and told him. It was episode 9, right? Or 8?
Yeah, I believe it was 9.
Okay, yeah, because that's right. Because they was in they was in Miami. And he told them that, hey, they bought these vans, it's leaving the shop, they going to Miami, etc., or whatever. So I knew just from that Remy was the one who hatched that whole plan to get their vans and whatnot, to call the Red Dogs on them to try to stop their work. But little did they know, what was actually in the vehicle and how the vans were tricked out and everything with the safes. As Terry and Meech are on their way to, which you could probably shed some light because I got confused by the scene. They were on their way to the impound lot and they see Remy Ransom and all of them driving off with the vans. Now here's where I'm confused, because if y'all were on y'all way to the impound lot, why would Duffy say that they being auctioned off and y'all got to make sure that y'all bid the highest?
I'm a little confused on that too. Now that you brought it up, I didn't even think about it initially. On first and second watch. I just looked at it. It was I just kind of, if anything, I'd say that probably was just some filler. Somewhere where the writers just kind of slipped up. And he was trying to get about it a little bit more logical, and it's just some filler.
Maybe that's what it is. Because I'm lost. Maybe I'm thinking now, looking at it, maybe Remy when he paid that guard, the guard wasn't supposed to give him the keys to the van or something like that. But I was lost by that because I was like, if they were going to be in an auction and y'all was going to have to do the highest bid, why were y'all even going to the impound lot in the first place?
More so, if it was work that was in there, the Red Dogs would have found it.
Exactly.
It's not even a point of getting in the vans.
Yeah,
it's pointless at that point.
And that's another thing I didn't understand. I was like, why y'all so worried if the joints, you know what I'm saying, y'all got them tricked out, they're not gonna find them. Terry told y'all in the last episode you got to do X, Y, Z simultaneously in order to open the safes. They didn't know that, so why would y'all it was weird to me. I was like, I would have been chill, like, you know what, they don't know the combination.
I understand they sense the urgency of getting it back because they don't want their money tied up and they got to get their money over to Loco. So I can understand they sense the urgency of getting the vans back so they can get their work out there. But like if you think about it logically now, and I'm thinking about it more and more, if the work was found, Remy Ransom can't do nothing with those vehicles anyway. He don't know that they got secret codes and all this other type of stuff, in order to unlock it. So really his purpose of going out there to get the vans was kind of irrelevant at this point. It was just going to get the vans because the Red Dogs would have found it if it was in there. How do you know it was still in there?
You know what? You're right. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that was pointless if that was the case. Because if you was thinking the work was still in there, which we come to find out that's what he actually thought, then why did you go get the vans? But then, you know what? Okay, I remember because if it was, I think it was Duffy or I can't remember her name, had said that Remy got police in his pocket. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's what it was.
Even having police in his pocket though, that's still like, even if he got police in his pocket and he contacted his connected inside and it was like, hey, we ain't find nothing. For Remy, the vans is irrelevant. It's just a trophy piece at this point because according to Red Dogs, it ain't even no work in there. Because if it was work in there, they'd have been in cuffs.
Yep. Yeah.
For sure.
I'll probably have to. Matter of fact, I'm not even gonna put myself through it again to watch it.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I watched it twice, and that was it.
I couldn't even try to watch it twice. So some y'all in the comments, y'all gonna have to. If we get some names wrong, you just got to put it in the comments.
Normally, I watch the episode 4 or 5 times. This was kind of unbearable for a finale.
Yeah,
I was like, all right. I'm texting people like, all right, let's just go to book 2.
Yeah, at this point, exactly. So while they seeing all of this going on there to come to have trouble with the plan, this is where Terry gets a call from STARZ and finds out that Hoop got shot by none other than Henrietta, but Hoop survived, which was good. So we were wrong in our predictions for this episode because I was really hoping that they didn't kill off and unalive Hoop. Because Hoop been a pivotal character since
I love his character.
Yeah, Hoop been that man. So I was glad to see that Hoop actually, they didn't unalive him. We know that he survived and everything, and he tells Terry that Henrietta says that he's next, and this is where Terry now he wants to become that guy. He wants to be the one to put down Henrietta. Which we'll talk more because I was actually glad what STARZ did, but we'll talk more once we get to that scene. But this is where Terry is just like, he is out for revenge and he's going to revenge Hoop and make sure that Henrietta goes down, gets unalive.
Shout out to his Al Wassam leather. If you're from the Midwest, if you know, you know.
Yeah, I don't know because I ain't from the Midwest.
Yeah, if you know, you know.
Like you
If you
said, if
know,
you know, you know.
if you had an Al Weezy back in the day, or even recently, you know, you can slide up into Dearborn and go get you an Al Weezy because now they got a store. They probably just opened up probably like 15 years ago, something like that. If you know, you know, for sure.
You know, you know. So here we have Detective Toby Anderson, father, who is talking to none other than Detective Jen, and which
Scumbag.
was stupid. Like Kobe tried to, like she tried to tell you before she was unalived how her pops was.
Did you not listen to your partner?
You didn't because she tried to
Did
tell
you
you
not listen
exactly
to your
how he
partner? She
was.
told you how he was cut. What were you doing? Why did you
How
trust
he was
this
cut.
man?
So she goes to Detective Emerson's pops and tells him that she knows exactly who unalived his daughter, and he brings up the Andreas family, which of course we know is Henrietta and Blaze, and tells him that these are the ones responsible for the unaliving of your daughter, and if you help me, I can bring them into justice. And he basically sold it all and gave it under false pretense that
You know
he was
what?
actually going to help her.
He's so much of a scumbag that he would rather alert the people who unalive his daughter than to seek some type of vengeance or justice. I don't even want to say vengeance, to seek justice. You'd rather alert them. That's how much of a scumbag. I don't get it. I don't understand why she ain't listen. Why she ain't see the signs. If she tell you like, well, my dad is a scumbag, however, I'm gonna reach out to him. Then she never had the opportunity for her to even check the type of temperature, see what type of time that her father was on at this point. She just stayed away.
Not only that, Brian tried to tell Jen how high it went. Like he tried to tell her off Jump Street, like, yo, like he up there. He got a lot of people in his pocket. Like, you just can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just can't. Which she found out her chief was connected to the Blaze. So it was like that right there alone.
You got to keep it close at this point. At this point, it's you and Brian.
That's all it was. It was you and Brian. That's what he was trying to get you to see. So here we got none other than Charles and Lucille, and the writing is on the wall where she finally puts down the divorce papers, and Charles, not wanting to, goes ahead and signs the divorce papers. I actually didn't think he was going to sign it right then and there. I thought he was going to be like, man, get this, you know what I'm saying? Get this hell out of my face.
Me either.
But he actually signed it and went on ahead and gave Lucille her freedom.
Honestly, when I thought about it, the first time I watched it, I was like, nah, I ain't gonna sign it. But the second time, I was like, the way he been moving lately, he going back, he was gonna sign it. The way he been moving lately.
Yeah, I think I
don't know. Lucille to be happy.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, I thought like he was gonna be like, man, nah, I'm not about to back down to lose to Dr. Maurice, which we gonna get into later on. But I was kind of shocked that, you know what I'm saying, that he actually signed it. And in this same scene, we saw Nicole sitting on the steps, which she broke down that now her parents are actually getting a divorce.
Which will lead me to my prediction for the next season for sure.
So in this scene here, we see Terry meet with the Chaldeans, and this is his way of setting up to get back at Henrietta. He tells them to set up a meet with Henrietta on the false pretense that she was going to meet them and that Terry was going to show up and basically take her out. He was just going to unalive her. That was the whole thing. They didn't want to get in the middle of it, which I understood because I would have said the same thing, but Terry threatened to cut off their supply if they did not do what he demanded of them. So they oblige and do exactly what Terry wants them to do. After that, Charles shows up at the restaurant and he tells Terry that, yeah, the divorce is final. Like, we went on ahead and signed the paper. So, there's no more me and Lucille Family is now broken apart, and it is what it is. So back here in Atlanta, we got um, Meech and dang, it's crazy. I can't even remember her name right now.
Angel.
Angel. Yeah, we got Meech and Angel here. And we got Meech, of course, he's still looking at the map of Atlanta, and he's telling her, he's still going to take it over. He wants the whole city. He's going to make it his side piece or whatever. And Angel is more so worried about Remy as well as the Red Dogs and everything else. It says, like, hey, let's just go away somewhere. Like, let's just get away from all of it. And right then and there, I was like, really, shorty? Like, the man, I'm still trying to figure out why you back in the crib in the first place. Because ain't no way in the world I'm going to let you back in the crib when you went and was working with my op.
I need to watch some YouTube channels from somebody that's actually affiliated. I need somebody to validate did something similar like this happen. Because this storyline, this ain't it.
Yeah.
This
I'm
ain't
thinking it. I'm hoping this is one of the entertainment purpose of it. Because I just can't see it. Knowing the real story, knowing how Meech rolled, I cannot see that once you broke his trust, once you broke his bond of being loyal, that he just allowed you to come back into the picture.
Right, because it seemed like, knowing what we know, that he just don't move like that.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just don't move like that. Like, he told her, he was like, you know what I'm saying, I already left my family and everybody else in the D, like, I'm here to stay. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I mean, it was almost kind of a rinse and repeat too, because it was almost like this is like how LaWanda kept trying to get Terry out the game. It's like now it's the other way around. Now it's his brother, and she telling him, "Yo, let's get out the game" or whatever. It's kind of so
except for
I'm with you. I'm hoping this is the entertainment point.
It gotta be.
So here we have Henrietta here, who is staring at herself in the mirror, and she decides to cut off all of her hair. At the same time, breaking down while cutting off all of her hair. The first time that I saw this, up until we found out later on when she talked to Jen, I looked at this scene of her breaking down as now she is finally coming to terms with who she is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is who I am. You know what I'm saying? This is who I want to be. So this is it. Like, it was just like shedding the dead weight off when she was cutting her hair. I think that was like why they was focusing like the camera on the hair. Like, it was.
Like, I think that's part of it though, because if we like, I don't want to jump all the way to that scene, but when she had a conversation with her father, you know, I think you're still right in that regard. I just think that's also you know, to what else she had going on. But I think you're 100% right.
Yeah, that's I think it was multiple things. I think that was some of it too with her pops, as well as, since we already jumped there, when she said, you know, matter of fact, that's right, because she told Jen, you know, that Tyson had been her cousin. Had been telling her to do that for a long time. So I think it was like a little bit of both. Like, it was a dedication to him, as well as like she's now finally like, yo, this is who I am. Everybody needs to accept it.
She didn't want to say my name. Muhammad Ali.
I'm gonna accept it. I'm not confused anymore. Like, you know, I'm not gonna be who my pops wants me to be. This is exactly who I am.
Oh, and you know what? I'll wait till we get there.
Okay. So we see Detective Jen. She's up in here with Henrietta up in the office. And while she's up in there, she gets a call from her pops, who basically tells her that Jen is none other than an undercover cop who ended up talking to Kobe Anderson's pops. And now they are on to them.
She got that face.
and now you have messed up everything and everything that I have built. So after this, she ends up, which is luckily this time she finally decides to listen to, excuse me, Detective Bryant and have backup as he's listening in on the wire that is stuck inside of Henry's cane. So it was a good thing that this time she finally listened to him, because if not, I don't see her making it out of that joint alive. Like,
She
I don't
wasn't.
care. She wasn't. Like, I get it. You did
Henrietta
your
would've
little chop,
manhandled her.
but
Yeah.
nah. We done seen Henrietta in action. Like, that little chop wasn't gonna do nothing.
Nah.
You got lucky with that.
Yeah.
But after finding that out, she ends up tries to go and unalives Jen there in her office, and Jen is able to break free and run through the warehouse. And as she is trying to take her out, of course, Detective Bryant comes up, and I got a feeling as soon as I finish it, he comes up and ultimately ends up saving Detective Jen from being unalive by Henrietta, and at the same time, he ends up wounding her in the leg. Go ahead, Jack.
I'll be first to admit when I'm wrong. I ain't gonna lie. I thought Detective Jen was out of there. You know, like I thought she was through. This whole time I've been predicting. This whole time I've been predicting that she was gonna, be unalived, and I was wrong. Like I'm skipping another scene, but like even the conversations later on, that she took a lateral, or she went for a lateral. I was like looking at clips for this episode and the hand around the neck. Like I didn't know whether or not Henrietta was playing dirty, or she was just trying to, get her, take her from us. Yeah, get her, take her from us. But that was wrong. That's all I will say.
I mean, I'll join that boat with you. I literally thought she was too, because as we know from season 1 and season 2, when they did the not the flashbacks, but they did the fast forward, like we didn't see Jen at all.
Right.
None of them. We saw Bryant. Like, and I think this season, I think it was episode 1, or maybe it was last season, but we know Bryant was the one who ended up showing up to the house in St. Louis to arrest Terry. He was the one that was there to arrest Terry. So I was the same way with you. I was like, yeah, she gone. I felt like they was probably just going to get into a whole fight, and they was going to injure each other, but Henrietta was going to have the upper hand and end up taking her out. So yeah, I was wrong. I was right there with you. I figured like she gone. Like, she gone.
I'll take that.
Yeah. So yeah, we got the whole BMF crew. We got Mish, Duffy, and all them. They are hanging out, and I forgot the name of this spot, as it was said earlier in the episode. And we got, I believe his name was Sharp. I think his name was Sharp.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it. Like I said, folks, just let us know in the comments.
Yeah, we didn't.
Just because it really was hard to.
It was hard to do due diligence on this episode.
But I believe his name is Sharp, which was hanging with Remy, which we saw in the last episode. He was the one that fed Remy the information about the vans and all of that other stuff. So he meets up with Meech as once he sees that there was no work in the vans and whatnot, and he's ready to jump on board, as Claude had put it all in their head before Claude was unalive. And Meech tells him like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna get paid. Everybody gonna get official grade A product, and basically tells him like, if you show us where our work is, I'll show you exactly what the work looked like. Now, if you watched our prediction video, we were like pretty much on point with this one as to where we said it could have been where he was going to set up Meech, but it was more so that he was going to Meech to tell him exactly, I want to be down with the crew, and that's how that whole shootout ensues, where they go to pick up their van. Now, what Sharp didn't know was Remy's man Froggy was watching him the entire time. So I knew.
A dude named Froggy.
Ain't even no dude name to it. Remy said something.
Yeah, Froggy, my man Froggy. Nah, we ain't doing that. I ain't trusting you, my man. On my circle.
So he been watching them the entire time, and he takes them to the warehouse where their vans are, and Michelle tells him like, "Hey, it's a secret passage. Like, this is how we moving our stuff going forward. Only I know, and my crew knows exactly how to get to the work." And he says, "You know, if you show me the work, then I'm down with y'all 100%." Which Mish ends up showing him the work. So he's in it, and he's like, "Bet I'm in now. I'm now on BMF." And as soon as they try to roll out, which was crazy to me, because I was like, "Damn, he just said BMF." I was like, "You just throw him the keys already? Like, here, yeah, take this man right here." I was like, "I ain't have another BMF member. Like, he just got into the fold."
I think he's kind of like that, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think part of him was like, yeah, they're just getting battle tested, you know, but he probably thought he was already battle tested. It's really just about business. It ain't necessarily about, you know, everything else. It's just all business. And if it make business sense, then somebody else will do it. Yeah. That's how I think that he, you know, that he rolled, and that's why I think they were so large. You know what I'm saying? Pulse, but why they was so crazy. But why the organization was the way that it was, because it was like, all right, you about your money, I'm about my money, you know, now let's get it together. But I hold the key for you getting this money. I'm gonna let you eat, but I definitely hold the key for you getting this money. It's up to you how many times I open this door for you, though. That's why I think he was able to, even if he would have ran off on it, that would have been the last time he was gonna eat, for sure.
Yep. Yeah, that definitely would have been the last time. Yeah, you make some very, very, very valid points on that. I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we got Remy and his crew. They come up, you know, everything was like, yeah, nah, y'all not leaving up out of here with none of these vans, which didn't matter anyway. And it was that whole shootout scene was so terrible, because I was like, hey, none of them vans, I was like, at least to my knowledge, are bulletproof. So somebody in one of them vans should have got hit, or y'all just got bad aim, and they all get away, end up running over one of the dudes and Remy crew, and Remy still upset about the whole thing, blasts off, etc. So we all know that they end up getting away. So after finally getting her divorce, Lucille goes over to Dr. Maurice's room. And of course, we all know what's happened. She lets him know that, like, my divorce is final now. Maurice said, hey, you know, I told you that I will be waiting for you. Go ahead, Jack.
Why I didn't see, like, I knew something wasn't right about him, a possibility. I could say I didn't even know. It was a possibility once. It was a possibility that something wasn't really right. And shout out to Treese, because, like we talked offline, she said it, like, something might not be right about, you know, the good doctor. But I ain't think about it. You a whole doctor. You getting hotel rooms. That's the first sign. Like, you got nothing going on at home where you could just be like, all right, let's slide off to the crib. This is what? Like, what's the time frame? What's the space between when they had the dinner and now? If we talking like 3 days and he's still in the hotel room. And did I miss a part where he said he lived somewhere else and he just here for a short time? Or a good time, not a long time?
I think, and my memory, and like I said again, folks, let us know in the comments. I think when he first came back and met and bumped into Lucille, I think he said that he didn't live there. I think he said he came back for something in general. I could be wrong. I think that's what he said. I'm not sure, but I feel like he did, because I was thinking the exact same thing when I was watching. I was like, dang. I was like, bruh, still in the hotel.
Yeah,
I was like,
I'm like,
didn't y'all just have dinner like a
I'm
minute
like,
ago?
Shade in the City was right.
Yeah, shout out to Shade in the City. Shout out to Tree. Shout out to Nails. Although Nails, you was wrong. You wanted to get back. Well, she got to get back and got at the same time.
Yeah, she got her back cracked and then.
So, but yeah,
Poor Lucille.
get back to it. She tells that she wants to move forward with Dr. Maurice and everything. And after that, Maurice finally just goes ahead and tells her, like, he's been engaged for 2 years, but he couldn't walk down the aisle because it was not Lucille. And I was like, bruh, I'm not even going to lie
with that.
To me, this was the best part of the episode. I couldn't stop laughing.
It probably was.
I couldn't stop laughing. Now, before y'all jump on me, I'm not saying.
You know they are.
I know they are. I'm not saying that she didn't deserve to get her get back. I'm not saying that what Charles did wasn't wrong. Yeah, of course, what he did was wrong. Of course, she did deserve.
Greener though.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she deserved her get back. But it was just like, yo. At the same time, you was towing that line because you told Charles you ain't want nothing else to do with him. Then you end up breaking him off some or whatnot, which kind of opened up Pandora's box and opened up his nose to think like, okay, yeah, we're going to get back together. And then you like, nah, like, I think I'm in love with
Man, look, I would say it like this without getting, because that'd be a whole other podcast. Yeah. I don't want to get jumped on in the comments either. It's like she saw the highlights. She didn't see the turnovers and bad plays and things like that. She saw all the highlights and fell in love with the highlights. Like you didn't experience enough of Dr. Maurice to even know that this happened. He showed you the representative exactly what he wanted to show you to go to the position that he wanted to get to. Yep. So, I'm not saying that Lucille shouldn't, if you. However, it's the situation is different because he's married, and he's not. Neither one of them are right, but one is a covenant more than anything, more than the other one. So, but that's he showed you enough. He showed you enough for you to take bait.
Yeah, like I
said,
he could
have lived with that.
I just want y'all to understand, I'm not laughing at Lucille like, haha, that's what you get. I'm more so laughing at the situation only because of how everything unfolded, especially since so many people after the whole the scene where they were having testimony in her house and the pastor was talking about, her having the children. Some people started connecting saying like, oh, hey, that might be Dr. Maurice, baby mama, or whatever, which would have tripped me out if it was. But like I said, I'm not laughing at Lucille because she deserved her get back, but it was just like the way the situation unfolded, I just couldn't help but laugh because it was just like, we kind of figured something was going on with bruh.
Ain't even get back because at this point she divorced. She's single as hell, so it ain't necessarily even get back. That's really, true. So she didn't get it necessarily a get back. She pursued what she thought would have made her happy. The grass is not greener on the other side like she thought it was. But this is what it was the illusion that he sold her because he could have led with that and then let her make her own decision.
But
true.
He did.
If he would led with that and let her make her own decision, then it's it's not like Lucille. But
yeah.
Now here, I ain't gonna lie. Here, I thought Lucille was gonna be like, I made a grave mistake by leaving you. I really, really thought that. And the way that the writers did this and set this up, I swear I saw that coming.
You're not by yourself. Because I thought the exact same thing. Because first off, I felt like I thought it was two things. I thought even though Charles signed the paper, like Charles been doing all of this stuff around the house that he said he was going to be doing for a long time. He never done. Now all of a sudden he's doing it. So I figure like, okay, he probably doing this now to like, trying to soften her up and maybe be like, okay, I'm gonna throw it out. And then the same thing when she came down the steps and she ended up speaking to him and was telling him like, he wasn't the man who I thought he was. I was thinking like Charles, like, oh, okay, she about to get ready to say, you know what? Although we know in real life, Lucille and Charles, they divorced. I don't necessarily know the actual time frame they divorced in real life, but I figure like, for entertainment purposes, it was gonna be like, hey, you know what? I was wrong. I do love you, etc. Like, I want to make this work or whatnot. I was thinking that exact same thing.
Yep.
But, she said, she's giving the only man that she needs in her life right now is God, that she's loving herself, and she wants Charles to be her friend, which he obliges to.
I did appreciate that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did appreciate that part because like once I found out that was she was once they pulled the wool over my eyes, like she was about to get ready to say, hey, let's make this work, and she just was like, nah, it seemed like I'm moving weird. I just need to get myself right religiously. And I was like, I respect that, Lucille. I thought she was going to be like, I got my back cracked by the wrong person, which
I also was shocked. I also was shocked because I thought Charles was going to be petty and be like, nah, we can't be friends. Like, I want you. You know what I'm saying? You don't want me, so like, nah, we can't be friends. That's what I thought. So I was kind of shocked that he did that as well. But we knew, he probably still holding hope that one day she might change her mind. So I figured that's what it boiled down to. So here we got T and STARZ sitting outside of the warehouse where Henrietta is supposed to pop up at that Cal Den's supposed to set up the fake meet. We see Terry on the phone calling Markeisha, tell her that how much he loved her, miss her, etc. because he hasn't heard from her since Miami. And I think Markeisha is I don't even know if we're gonna see Markeisha next season, honestly.
She probably with that cop.
I was thinking that too. I thought we was gonna see that too this episode. But the one thing that I liked about this scene was that STARZ literally told T like, yo, bruh, that's not you. Like, you're not built like that. Once you go there, there's no point in return. You can't go back. Like, that's not you. That's not what you do. You the money man, you the smart man, you do all of this other stuff. If you go this route, ain't no going back. So I was like, yo, right there. If anything, and this ain't no disrespect to Hoop or anything, because Hoop has definitely been a dope right-hand man. But I felt like STARZ should have been his right-hand man because he's the only one who's thinking logical and is telling him like, yo, nah, this is how you need to move.
STARZ is my favorite character, man. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, as far as, outside of Meech and Terry, STARZ is my favorite character. Like, he's loyal, he's thorough, how to move, it seems like. He don't move off emotions, logical. Like, he's the type of dude that you need on your team because he gonna put in that work and make sure that everything's good.
Exactly.
He's gonna carry everything out.
He gonna carry everything out, and not only that, like, yo, bro is A1. Like,
absolutely.
Like anybody else on his squad, on Terry's squad, including Hoop, would have been like, nah, yeah, take her out. Like, go ahead, get her off the map, etc. And STARZ like, nah, bro, that's not you. That's not what you do. Like, let me handle it. Let one of the workers handle it. That you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we do. We the cleanup crew. Like, that's not what you do. So I definitely, I'm with you on this one. Like, yo, like, I was like, yeah, that man is A1.
It seemed like with this episode, man, and I'm quite sure we'll see it in the episodes to follow, is that Terry is still trying to kind of find his niche a little bit. It's like he found it, but he don't want to own it. Like, you the money man, you the business savvy. Like that's your niche. Leave all this extra gangster, lead the soldiers to the soldiers.
Yep.
Like even with Meech, Meech is a soldier in a sense, but he's the, it's different for Meech. But you not that. Y'all cut different and just know your role and do it.
Yeah, you cut way different. So we got Henrietta here, who is, of course, nursing her wound from the gunshot that she took from Detective Bryant. And her pops and uncle show up. And her pops is completely upset. And he just lets everything out. And I felt where she was coming from with this. And we kind of got a glimpse of it from, I think it was last episode when her uncle dropped off the money, and how she also told Detective Jen, like, how her pops blames her, for, her mom's death. And he said it biggest day. He said, ever since you came into this world, you've brought me nothing but trouble and death. And I'm thinking, I'm just like, damn, dog, like, that's some messed up.
But you, and I wanted to wait till we got to the scene. Shout out to you, because you the one that said, that's what it is, and that's why he always felt the way he felt towards her, because of what happened to her mom's during birth. I was more so like, nah, I don't think it's necessarily that. I think it's to the fact that she is the way that she is, and he don't necessarily accept her as such.
It was both. It was both, because as we saw in the whole back and forth, where he tells her, like, yo, you've brought me nothing but, just trouble and death, going all the way back to your mama, your mom's, died after giving birth to you. I told you how this was going to go when you decided to unalive, the clique at BMF. I told you to drop this and drop that, etc., whatever. And when she says, when he says, Henrietta, she clearly says, like, yo, my name is Henry. And he's like, yo, stop that. Because remember, we even got a glimpse of it at the dinner where he was like, I've raised you to be, I think, the smartest. And don't quote me on this, folks. It's something along the lines. It was like pretty girl. Yeah, it was something along those lines. So as soon as she pulled the strap out, I was like, oh yeah, she about done alive him.
Yeah,
I was like, it's going down.
But you know what? I thought the uncle was going to grab him, because I, like, at one point, if you go back and look at our other review, I was like, I think the uncle and I was like, the uncle and
Henry.
Yeah, and Henry was going to maybe possibly get her out of there. Get him out of there. And I think this was when we was on with Shade in the City. I believe I said that.
Okay. I thought he was gonna step in front and be like, you know what I'm saying, like, hey, look at me, etc., or whatever. And she possibly end up taking him out by accident. And then that was gonna mess it up even more. He was gonna be like, see, look what you see what I'm saying? Like, you done unalive my brother, etc. And then I thought she was gonna end up unaliving him at the same time. But as we all know, Blaze ends up getting unalived, and that's
all a regurgitation too, for the record. I've just said I've seen this before, dealing with Fitty, dealing with Curtis. You know what I'm saying? This is a regurgitation.
Yep,
plenty of times
on other shows, but
plenty.
It was all caught on the wire that is placed inside of Henry's cane that she did not know about. And while her and her uncle are trying to, which confused me, because I'm like, how long, like, what's the time span? Because I'm like, how long did it take y'all to wrap up his body? I get it, she's nursing the leg wound, but how long did it take y'all to wrap up his body to where at the point it's pitch black? Because remember when Terry and Sterl drive off to go over to her, it's still daylight outside.
Mm-hmm.
When Jen says, yo, let's call for backup, it's still daylight outside. So I'm like, And I'm going to assume that this is summertime because nobody has on any big coats, nothing. So as we all know, when summertime comes, time goes forward, the sun goes down a little bit later. I'm like, yo, what time was it? Like, how long did it take y'all to get this body removed that y'all ended up getting caught by them? Like that part, like I said, like that, and we're gonna touch on it more. But Henrietta here, she gets locked up, and Detective Jen approaches her and tells her, like, I wasn't gonna let you get away with this and whatnot. You're going down, and every time you try to come up for parole, I'm gonna be at the hearings to let them know to not let you out. And Detective Bryant comes up to her, whispers in her ear, and tells her, I was the one who unalived your cousin Tyson. I didn't get the reaction I thought she was going to do. Like, I thought she was going to spaz out after hearing that.
Headbutt him or something.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, she was going to try, like, go after him or nothing. And all she did was just, like, kind of, like, laughed it off and spit. So I was shocked at seeing that. I was like, dang, I thought she was going to go ballistic because she's like, dang, I done shot, excuse me, although she had, a little beef with Terry, it was like, I done shot his people for no reason. I done unalived my pops for no reason. And you was the one who caused, like, all of this. So I thought we was going to get, you know what I'm saying, like a little bit more and whatnot. Terry and Sterl pull up. They see all the cops, everything outside of, her warehouse. The only problem, and I forgot the person's name. I hope when this episode drops, he drops it in the comment because he made a very valid point.
DeMarcus will.
Was it DeMarcus? It was somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Who made a very valid point that when we watch these shows, that sometimes we need to stop going into these shows with like realistic, like realities, like
expectations
what we would think or whatnot.
Yeah.
Because like, just kind of enjoy the show for what it is. And I get it, but it's kind of hard sometimes because this is the prime example of there is no way on God's green earth you're going to tell me, as close as they were, all them cops out there, all them bright lights, etc., that nobody saw him and Sterl sitting over there in that corner because they weren't far away. Like, they was right there. Sterl got a bright white Benz, and both of them are standing outside. They're not even trying to hide, and nobody saw them. Like, not a soul. Henrietta didn't see them. No cops. Nobody saw them. I thought at least Bryant was going to come out and see
I'm
them.
about to say, Detective Bryant would have noticed immediately.
So the fact that nobody saw them, I was just like, really, bro? I was like, for real? But the one thing that I did like about this scene was Sterl again, being that type of dude. He told Terry, like, hey, this is who you are. This is what you do. He was like, yo, you play the background. And he put an idea in Terry's head. It's like, yo, just play in the shadows. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, basically, which I kind of took was like, although I know some people like, I don't know how you got that. Like, it's a reach. But it kind of reminded me of Ghost. It was just like when he was like, yo, you play in the shadows. Like, you play the background and you handle everything from the background. Like, you're not even in the forefront no more. So, actually, once again, I respected Sterl for telling T, like, hey, which we know later on.
I mean, people got to tell T to embrace his role.
Yeah. But we find out later on when we get to that scene, that's exactly what he ended up doing. Was he ended up playing the background. He ended up playing in the shadows. So back here at Techwood, Meech is here with Duffy and everybody. He's getting all the crew from the Atlanta boys, Sharp and all of them, up and letting them know like how everything's going to run going forward. And of course, Remy shows up and like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, you up in my hood doing this and everything. I was just like, bruh, like, if you walk in your hood and you see the so-called people that was with you when you were trying to take him out, when he took the vans, that should have been the first indication, like, you know what? Oh, y'all done jumped ship. Y'all done.
How did he walk out? How did he walk out?
I figured they didn't want to do it right there in Techwood because you know what I'm saying. Red Dogs, it was hot in Techwood.
Ain't no way you walking out. Just walking out. Look.
I mean, I get it, but that's how I looked at it.
Everything that he caused, people watering got turned off.
You know what I'm saying?
I guess I can see it that way. Yeah, you don't want to. I guess I can see it that way.
Yeah, because it's been hot. It's been hot ever since, you know what I'm saying? The MKs came through there, sprayed everything up. Lil Milton got unalive. Techwood just been hot. So I figured, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They didn't want to do it. I was still trying to figure out why Meech was in Techwood in the first place. Like, you could have been anywhere else to meet them Atlanta boys, but you decided to do it in his backyard, like knowing that Techwood is hot by the Red Dogs. But I guess it was just, you know, him saying this is a slap in the face to, you know, Remy, like, I done took over your crew and I done took over your hood and I'm gonna do it 10 times better than how you did it. I'm gonna make sure that they took care of. Now, this thing I knew immediately, it reminded me of Belly.
Yep.
When I saw the scene, when I saw the dude, because I was trying to figure out, I'm like, okay, so you just out here in the middle of the night sitting
like
on the
X with the squeegee.
Yeah, I was like, you sitting out here in the middle of the night selling waters. So I'm like, unless it was some type of lace type of water, because I'm thinking, I was like, okay, well maybe it's a, you know what I'm saying, like.
I think it was some type of lace. I think it was a code for something else, some type of, because they put too much emphasis in the dialogue wasn't direct. Yeah. To me.
Yeah, that was the same thing. That was the same thing I was thinking. I was like, yo, like I was like, you just sitting out here in the middle of whatchamacallit. So I was like, okay, I'll give you that. But then it was the way you gave him the water and then you took off.
Mm-hmm.
When he first gave him the water, I thought he was gonna be the one that was gonna take him out. I was like,
yeah, me too.
I was like, as soon as he gets his water, he about to get ready to take him out. But then the way he ran off, I was like, okay. So I was like, well, who about to roll up? So I was thinking like maybe it was about to be a drive-by, and we never see who the person was. All we saw was a black glove, and they end up taking out Remy, which I'm just going to assume was Beach. I'm just going to assume that I'm just going to assume that
I
Beach
think so.
was the one that took him out. But I'm actually glad to see that Remy is gone, because Remy done got on my nerves for the longest time.
Man, he was annoying.
You couldn't get past your ego, bro. Like, I get it.
It's probably too much, man.
I get it. It's your city. I get it, but it was just like, bro, your ego.
Was you in it for the city or in it for the money?
Was in it for the city.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Like, if you in it for the city, then do something else.
And not even that. On top of that, I'm still trying to figure out what type of money are you getting. I get it. They called you a Robin Hood. I get it. You know what I'm saying? You walked the kids to school. You did all of this exactly whatever. But at the same time, I'm thinking like, yo, what kind of money are you getting? Because you rolling around in this Delta 88, you living in Techwood, so it can't be.
Delta? I thought it was a Caprice.
Nah, that was an Oldsmobile. That definitely wasn't a Caprice.
Okay.
I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I feel like it's a Delta 88, but I
could probably be
wrong. I could be wrong. But either way, you wasn't really getting no money like that, in my opinion. So
you would have think back then we thinking a G body and some and some good rims or something. You know what I'm saying? Or an Acura or something like. I mean, we talking Atlanta. You know, you probably thinking something G body style, right? But I don't think maybe Remy Ransom just thought like he was taking care of everybody. So like again, if you take care of Techwood take care of us. I just think Remy Ransom had the wrong mindset, and that's why I'm like, he gotta get out of here because he in it for the wrong reasons. This is a business.
It's a business. That's all it was a business. So we see 1 week later, Meech gets all of the players together. I'm trying to think of his character name because I don't want to call him the real one. That's his name, Jay Push.
Yeah, Jay Push.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't want to call him the real dude from BMF.
Brody.
From St. Louis. Yeah. I forgot.
Brody and Poop.
I forgot the other guy's name that's from Cleveland. Oh,
Yeah,
as
he
well
from
as
The Wire
everybody
too. I
else.
can't remember his name either.
Can't remember his name, but he tells them like, hey, all these cars are tricked out. This how Atlanta is now going to be the hub for all of y'all. Y'all come to Atlanta, all the stuff is going to be loaded up, and we're going to be good to go. And as we see later on, as all of them leave and all the different cars, they get pulled over by the Red Dogs, and the Red Dogs can't find anything because of how everything is inside the different safes inside of their car, which shows that Meech's plan worked all along. And during that time, Meech gets a call from none other than Terry, and Terry ends up telling him about Lucille and Charles getting a divorce, getting a divorce final. And, Meech is just like, how's Nikki taking it? Because, Nikki is still back there. And we all know Nikki's taking a little bit rough. And Meech also asks about Henrietta and how everything went there. And Terry tells him, oh, that's all taken care of. Like, I got it done, etc. Whatever. So at first I was like, Terry, why you lying, bruh? I was like, you didn't take care of nothing. Like, the cops got it. Like, you didn't take care of nothing. I was like,
but
that's literally.
In fairness, he did kind of take care of it though.
Nah, but that's what it didn't hit me until the scene came up where she's in jail.
It hit me the moment when they showed the preview, the previews from from previous episodes
from season 2.
I was like, why bring her back into the fold when she got arrested? That's when I thought about it. I was like, oh, because he's still taking care of the little boy who was going to Michigan State, making sure that making sure that his full ride at Michigan State was paid for. She's gonna do the time, whatever. That's what I thought about it. Like, oh yeah, her water about to get cut off.
Yeah, I didn't expect, and I can't remember her name to save my life. Like I said, y'all can let us know in the comments. But when I saw her, I said, okay. I said, that's what he was talking about.
Checkmate.
I was like, okay, playing in the shadows. I was like, he set that whole thing up and pretty much got her slam up out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Poke, stab, got her up out of here. Like you said earlier, Jack. What did you say? The gurgling sound.
The gurgling sound.
Remember when you said the regurgitation?
Yeah.
When we saw my Blaze.
Yep.
Same thing.
Yep.
Same thing. And I was like, oh yeah, she done. It's a wrap for
Yep.
her. I was like, about time. I don't know how you lasted the whole season, but it's gone or whatever. So we back here.
Oh my God.
And folks, we were wrong when we saw this. When we saw these, if you watched our prediction video, we saw them all dressed up in black. So we thought it was Hoop's funeral, but come to find out, which still is crazy to me, Terry stops by LaWanda's crib to come see her and the babies, as well as to take them to church. And I'm like, why y'all going to church in all black? But okay. And LaWanda tells him that, she's going back to cosmetology school and whatnot. And Terry's, he's just like, why? Like, I make enough bread to make sure, I take care of both, all of y'all.
How? She still live with her moms, bro.
I figured that's what she wants to live though.
How? Like, even if that, her mom should be living with her at this point. It's not the other way around. What are we talking about? Like, Terry's killing me in this episode. Like, whichever one is giving him the attention, that's the direction that he's going in. Stop doing that. Like, what are we doing? If Marquise give you the attention that you're looking for, that's the direction you're going in. If Wanda's giving you the attention that you're looking for, or you realize that you ain't getting the attention that you thought you was getting from Marquise because she's getting your nerves, then you're going back to LaWanda. What are we doing?
I literally thought that's what he was doing. I thought he was going back to her. I was like,
he definitely was shooting the shot. He definitely was trying to see if she'd take the bait for sure.
I was like, oh, okay. I was like, you trying to go back to her or whatever, and that's all this is. Especially when he was like, I can't get a hug. I was like, oh yeah, bro, you trying to run the game. You trying to get back.
Come on, man.
And when he said, everything that's going on between, my moms and pops, it made me think about us. So that's when I was like, okay, now he want to be the family man or whatnot. But they end up going to the church, and Lucille decides to become the assistant pastor at the church. And she ends up giving her testimony. And looking at this, I'm just realizing, Jack, you and Terry look like y'all got on the same shades.
So here's my thing.
Look like both of y'all got on the same. What y'all call in the D? Y'all call them buffs, right?
Absolutely. If you know, you know. So this design of buffs wasn't made until like mid 2000s, which they had some different type of Cartier glasses then. Most of them was just pretty much aviators and the Babenga wood. The buffs ain't come out until, or this design of buffs didn't come out until late 2000s. So they kind of messed up with that because they could have went vintage, but it's only one of them things like, if you know, you know. His is fire though.
I just happened to look, and it's crazy because I'm looking now and I'm looking at the picture, and then I see the side of your joints. I'm like, wait a minute.
The little design right there. That's what that'll throw it off right there. Is that little part right there? That design didn't come out until later, for sure. And that's the only part that I didn't get. I was like, he could have went with a little bit more vintage. And Meech had on some vintage ones, like in episode 6 or something like that. He had some vintage ones on. I don't know why they didn't get Terry that, but it's all good.
Yeah, I'm like,
I was like,
both of y'all got on the same type of buff. So during this, whatchamacallit, Lucille is giving her testimony, and it touches Nicole. As it looked like she's about to cry and whatnot. And touched her deep. Breeze is beside her. I thought at one point like she was gonna say something to Breeze, because like the entire time Breeze had his head down. So I was thinking like she was gonna say something to Breeze about, like, hey, you ain't paying attention to my moms. But you know what I'm saying? She didn't end up saying anything, but still, she gave her testimony. It was a very, very deep testimony, and it hit all the feels. And back here in Atlanta, we got Meech here, who is at Ty Washington's grave, and he tells Ty, like, hey, I got your wife and kids for life, just like I told you. I'm about to take over the city. Remy is gone, so everything is all great, and we about to make BMF bigger than what it was before. So this was another part that just annoyed me of this episode. After he leaves the gravesite, he goes and he runs into, and it's crazy why, I don't know why I can't remember her name, and she's been here all season.
Angel.
Thank you. This is a prime example of how bad and annoyed this episode made me, because I can't even remember her name.
Well, she jumped ship so damn much.
She jumped ship. So he comes back and he finds Angel packing up all of her stuff, and Angel shows him a collage or a vision board of everything that she wants done in her life, and she thanks Meech for giving her the inspiration to do so, and tells Meech that she's leaving. She's going back to her hometown. She's going to open up a dance studio, etc., whatever. So for all of y'all who were wondering why we ranked the episode so low, this is one of the reasons why, because this is when everything starts to take, like, it was like, it wasn't even like a season finale. It was more like a series finale, because once this kicked off, it was like everything after this was just kind of like going up. It was almost like everybody was making like it was like a redemption tour.
Yeah,
it was like
it was rushed.
Yeah, it was like everything was trying to end on a high note, and it's like, yo, if you are already got the green light for season 3, I'm like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, why y'all trying to? I get it.
Like I was watching a dark version of Family Matters or something. Like, it was irritating.
Yeah, it was like, bro, I was waiting for the violins, like you said, Family Matters. Where the violins at? And the drama scenes. It was like that's what kicked it off because once we saw that, and then he's just like, I got you all the time.
Yeah.
We back here with Terry, who is back in the
Wrapping all these
hospital.
stories up so fast.
Rushed them up so fast. It was just like this episode should have been like, I don't know. This shouldn't have been the finale. Like I said, this episode seemed like it was a series finale. Straight up.
I'm gonna wait till we get there.
It seemed like a series finale. So, Terry's back at the hospital with Hoop. He tries to feed him some calamari, which he don't want, as well as,
From the roof
they looking at the fine nurse that was in there. And he thanks Hoop for being his right-hand man. Since day one, he lets him know, like, hey, I'm going back to Atlanta. You rest up and everything. STARZ gonna handle everything while I'm gone. You rest up till I get back. And then here we got Detective Jim and Bryant on the TV, which, everything gets uncovered as far as the whole situation with Henrietta and Amberson's pops and all of that stuff, being tied into, illegal business. And Jen here tells Detective Bryant that she's going out to California to stop some Asian gangs and different type of stuff like that she's getting her badge back. And Bryant is like, which I was just like, really, bro? I was like, after all the stuff that happened, you're thinking about going to Atlanta to stop Meech?
I figured that though, because I figured it would be. Well, I don't say I figured that, but I knew it was a possibility to continue his storyline.
I mean, yeah, it was part of the real story, so I get it. But I was just like, bruh, like, come on, yo. Like, your son is gone. Ain't had nothing to do with neither one of them, but you still trying to blame them for the unaliving of your son. Like, it should have stopped once you took out Tyson, took down Henrietta. That's where it should have stopped, but it don't stop. But he also tells her that, before he sells his house or whatnot, he has to clean up Kevin's room. And Jen tries to help him, and he says, I have to do it myself, which he ends up doing. He goes in there and starts to clean up Kevin's room. One thing I did notice in this scene was the shirt that he had on.
I ain't peeped until right here. I was like, I didn't even see it at the table, but I did peep the shirt.
Yeah, and I'm almost like, and like I said, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, this was the same comic that his son was drawing, and he ended up getting it put on a t-shirt. Yeah, so I realized that, and I was like, okay. But again, you see what I was saying earlier to the previous with Angel and Meech is that it was like, I was like, why are y'all trying to end everything on a high note when y'all have season 3 coming up? And here we have Lucille and Nicole as she's fixing dinner. As if you watch the prediction video, we spoke on this too, and we said pretty much this was going to be the dinner before Charles leaves to go on the road. The bus ended up coming earlier than expected, and Charles was like, I gotta go. Like, it came earlier, I gotta go ahead and go. And Nicole is like, go ahead, Dad, go ahead and go. Go ahead and handle your business. Like, have fun, keep doing what you're doing. Not Nicole, but Lucille, before, which I'm pretty sure he was out the door by that time, she says, hope you get everything that you wanted. I hope everything, is going to be great, and follow your dreams and whatnot. And they sit down to eat, and Nicole says a prayer and touches her mom. And she says, hey, this is the strongest woman that I know. And I think it just hits them that it's basically just going to be them two now, because all the men in the house are gone. Like, Charles is on the road, Meech is in Atlanta, and Terry's out of the house, so it's just going to be them two. That's how I kind of took it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, is that it was just like, they was just like, wow, like, everybody's gone, it's just us. So, but it was a heartfelt prayer that Nicole said, which brought her mother down. It was a real heartfelt scene, but again, this is what I'm saying, for a finale, you would have thought this was a series finale and not a season finale, is how it made it seem. because we see Terry back here in Atlanta, and they are putting up a new map of the U.S. And Meech says to him, like in every state, a half a ton. And Terry's like, bro, you crazy? Like in every state, a half a ton. And I was thinking to myself when he said it, I'm thinking like, Terry, like, bro, do you know how much a half a ton is in 50 states, bro? Like, do you like, bro, that nah. I don't even think. I get it. You got that connect, you got that cartel, but that's almost like virtually impossible in all 50 states to have a half a ton in all 50 states. Like, I get it, dream big, but boy, you was like, bro, you was like,
hey, they was, you know how the story unfolds.
That dream was way out there. Like that dream was wild, bro. Like, I get it, but I'm like, yo, not even Scarface thought of nothing like that. Like, you trying to expand the whole United States and a half a ton in each state.
If it didn't unfold the way that it unfolded, we'd probably be looking at billionaires.
Yeah, like
clearly.
So after all of that, they go back to Platinum Palace and they celebrate with BMF being on top. This was the highlight for me of this entire episode, although I feel like it was kind of pointless because it was like, to just put him, Deion Sanders in the club. I was just like, it's kind of pointless. I was like, why y'all wait till the last episode to like even put him in an episode of BMF? One, and I'm like, two, not saying that Deion didn't visit strips clubs, but during that time everybody knew like he didn't smoke nor drink. So
he never smoked a drink.
You know what I'm saying? I was just kind of like, this seems very weird. But shout out to his son, Shiloh, because he played his pops to a T. Sounded just like that man and everything. Like,
for a minute, I had to look up like, yo, is that Deion Sanders?
Like, I'm talking about he played his pops to a T. Like, I'm talking about, and I'm pretty sure that's probably Deion's old jury, with the 21, the hat. I'm talking about, bruh, like, he played that man.
I was waiting for him to do the must be the money dance.
Exactly. I was waiting for it. Exactly. Like, I was waiting for all of that. And, he kicked some game to Meech and everything, which I'm just like, I wonder. And I'm wondering if maybe Deion maybe come out later on and talk about it, whether it was real or not. But one thing that I did notice when I saw this, I was like, okay, I guess y'all decided to put Deion in this episode because the name of the episode is called Prime Time.
Yeah, that's what I noticed too. And I was just like, all right, we bridging the gap. But was it really needed?
Nah, it wasn't needed, in my opinion. And if y'all ain't noticed, 21, Falcons, same time, prime time. You know what I'm saying? The Falcons jersey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I figure I'll just throw that in there just for shits and giggles. And then after talking to him, Javier rolls in and tells them that Loco is locked up in Mexico and no work is going to be moved until he is broken out of Mexico. Like, he needs to get out. So I was like, bro, like,
what we doing?
What we doing? I was thinking that same thing. I'm like,
what we doing?
I'm like, why y'all coming to them?
What are we doing? This part of it pissed me off so much. I was like, all right, now we going so far away from what seems like is the most realistic storyline to let's see how long we can prolong and push this out further because we got to fill in some gaps for season 3. When really, we'll put the next season. When really, they got so much they still could unfold. We didn't even tap into the music part of it.
None of it. And I don't ever remember.
Why are we here? Why
from the real story? I don't remember them having
ever. Why
to
do we
any
introduce
of
this?
And I'm still lost because I'm like, why are you coming to them in Atlanta to say, "Oh yeah, I need you to free." I'm like, bruh, y'all a cartel. You trying to tell me y'all don't have no
Try to get some dudes from Detroit to do it.
exactly? I was like, you trying to tell me that y'all don't have no cops on the payroll or anything down there in Mexico that can break Loco out of jail so that y'all get to work?
Because they could move inconspicuous, right? These two could move. Come on, man. What are we doing?
Yeah,
They incognito, right? In Mexico, trying to. What are we talking about, man?
and I was with Terry, like, bruh, like, what we going to Mexico for? Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, bruh, y'all going to Mexico. I get it. You trying to be loyal, but I'm like, bruh, that don't have nothing to do with us. We got to deal with other cartels, everything to try to break this man out just so we can get to work. Why can't we just find a new supplier? I get it. We got grade A uncut, but it was just like, yeah, I was with you on this, the ending, because at first, after he spoke to Dion, I thought that's how it was going to end. I was like, okay, y'all just going to end everything on the high note, which is stupid. I was like,
No
y'all not going to
cliffhanger.
give us no type of...
This is the cliffhanger. Is that they're going to Mexico to free? Like, is he the head of the cartel or is he a member of the cartel? That's for one. Because and even so, let's just say he's just a member of the cartel or this portion of the cartel. You have. I don't want to speak on that because I don't know how cartel is constructed.
Yeah,
but it would seem like there's somebody else that can be in place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To keep things going.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, if you watch Narcos and all of that, I would think the exact same thing.
Like, what do we like? Why go this way to start off the next season?
Yeah, bro, I was so pissed when I saw this, and I was like, "This is the cliffhanger." I'm like, so these two fools just walking off into the sunset in the middle of Mexico,
in
the desert, and y'all expect two black dudes, young black dudes at that everybody from a child to the grandmama in Mexico, no, they not from here, and y'all expect him to break Loco out of jail. I was like, this is how y'all end the season? I was like, come on, bruh. I was like, y'all could have wrote this so much better than, I mean, we could have, I wouldn't have been mad if y'all would have ended the season with the unaliving of Henrietta. Like that's how the episode ended. Like we don't know like if she actually got unalived or whatnot, or if it would have been something along the lines of I don't know, like they could have, matter of fact, they could have stretched out Hoop, like or somehow like make it seem like cliffhanger, like yo, Wayne's is Hoop alive?
Like he flatlined for a second or something. You know what I'm saying? And then it goes off. But instead, we get this postcard crap right here. That how we talking about two dudes that's rich. They just in the middle of Mexico. What did they just walk off the landing strip? What did it just say? You know, if we're gonna walk off, we're gonna find our way. Like, what are we talking about here? I'm disgusted the way it ended. I'm not even gonna lie. It ended bad. Like the ending made it even worse. Like leading up to the end, it was already bad. But when I saw this, and I'm staying up to watch this, you know, and I work on Saturdays. I mean, on we all work on Fridays. But so Friday, so you're talking Thursday night, Friday morning. For some, here is 9:00 at night. But it's like you stay up for this, and this is what you get.
This is what you get.
Come on. What we doing?
I ain't gonna lie. I was just hot. I was like, this how y'all end it, bruh.
I was really pissed.
I was like, this was the worst episode of the season. I was just like, y'all are already greenlit for season 3. Like y'all should have ended like in a big bang somehow, some way. Shoot, I mean, I wouldn't have been mad if y'all would have showed like how y'all did season 1, season 2. Y'all could have fast forwarded, you know, and show them kicking in the door, Terry crib or even Beach crib or something when he was in Dallas.
They could have fast forwarded to when the limo got pulled over and they actually bought the chainsaws out, considering how much they surrounded, you know, the storyline of them being able to hide the work they could have, when the limos was there, or the first time the limo driver got pulled over, the first time that Doc Marshall got pulled over, and we could have had a conversation from there.
Yep.
To see, to give us a hint of what we might be looking into later. Instead, we get them walking into the sunset of sunny Mexico, trying to break out a drug lord. Some two Detroit dudes try to break
a drug lord. Yeah, like shoot, y'all could have, and we hate, to keep putting the emphasis on the end, and this will be my final thought. Like y'all could have ended it where we could have saw Greenie in the interrogation room, or we possibly could have saw the Robert Fulton character that Goldie was talking about in season 2 that was linked up with the mob or whatever. But this is how y'all ended it, man. Like,
yeah, we could twist this ending. We could twist this ending until they walk to whatever the hell they walking to.
Yeah, we could talk about this forever. But that's it, y'all. Episode 10. Like you said, we were highly disappointed in the last episode for it to be a season finale for BMF. But of course, we will be back again on season 3 next year when they drop. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Also,
is this season 3 or season 4?
Season 3. Oh, I'm sorry, season 4. We're all on season 3. My bad, y'all. Season 4. Like I said again, don't hold me to anything. This episode just got me all discombobulated. So I'm sure when y'all listen to this, you're gonna be like, man, like, do they even know what season it is? But yeah, we know what season it is. It was just a bad episode. So season 4, of course, we're gonna bring it back, like I said. But once again, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and also be on the lookout as we will be bringing you some more entertainment. We will be bringing you some more content on different things. I'm not gonna let the cat out the bag yet on what one of the things is. Of course, we're gonna review book 2 of Ghost coming, but we got some more stuff tucked in the sleeve that we're gonna be dropping pretty soon. So y'all make sure to, like I said, just look out for the content, and we will see y'all later.